Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to I'm calling these deep readings. Basically, a while ago I did questions. I took your questions. You all shared questions that you had, and I put them on a list, and that's what I'm going to be answering in this reading. These were all suggestions from all of you, but we're going to go deep on all of these. So down below in the description, you can follow along if you want. There's a list of what each card is going to represent. So there's a question, and then there are 3 more questions that go deeper into the question that we're answering, if that makes sense. It's pretty simple. I think you'll get it in just a second. But anyway, your first row is going to represent what you are manifesting at this time. You have the Sandpiper spirit that says be playful, and you also have the Armadillo spirit that says set healthy boundaries. So a lot of you could be like, again, being playful is one of the better ways to manifest something that you want in your life. So, the more joyful and playful we are, the more likely it is that we will manifest something great, Gemini. So I would, make sure to embrace that energy, of course. You have the Queen of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Tower. The Queen of Swords is showing up in the position of what's being drawn into you at this time. And the Queen of Swords is a great card for Gemini because it would represent a lot of clarity. And, the funny thing is that a lot of people have been getting these messages of kind of like manifesting clarity at this time, or manifesting something that makes their life more clear. So in a lot of ways, this could just say that what you are drawing into you at this time, or what you are kind of like a magnet for at this time in your life, is clarity, which is great. And, that can make it easier to move forward in life and to kind of like move towards whatever it is that you want. I also feel that this could actually be talking about your emotions as well, Gemini. And so, again, your feeling towards things could be very clear at this time, is kind of what's popping into my head with this card, which is good because, obviously when we're clear on how we feel, then we can better attract things that we want. And or we can know, if we're clear on how we feel about something, then we're in alignment. And the more in alignment we are, the more likely it is that we will get what we want. So that's that. Next, we're going to look at how will this manifestation show up. And you have the Four of Pentacles. I think it's just going to show up. There is no answer here, Gemini. I feel like there's nothing you need to do, or there's nothing that you need to pay attention to or anything to get this manifestation to show up. Four of Pentacles is kind of just like the status quo, right? And so I feel for a lot of you that the things that you're manifesting are just kind of like happening in a lot of ways. So yeah, that's like a good thing, number one. I'm not saying like, life is going to be perfect or anything at this time, but I definitely feel you could be manifesting things very, very quickly. Next, we're going to look at how you can best get into alignment faster. So again, when we align with what we want, we get it faster as well. You have the Tower. Again, this is one of those situations where the Tower can be a good thing, obviously. The Tower is about releasing an old reality so that you can step into a new one. Again, I think Gemini is very good at doing this. I think Gemini is very good at like looking at something they're doing in life and kind of like forming new perspectives about whatever that thing is, love, money, spiritually, it doesn't matter, and is very good at kind of like coming up with other ways of doing things, right? And that is kind of like the Tower in a reading like this, in a position like this. Like, how can you get into alignment faster? It's like, well, accepting new realities is how you can get into something faster, or how you can become successful more quickly, right? It's like there are new realities sprouting up all the time. And it's like if we let go of the old and step into the new, then we'll be more successful. And that's, pretty much what this Tower is saying. It's funny because for like weeks I've been talking to you about Uranus in your sign. Uranus in your sign is going to bring in these like electric ideas, I believe. And, I've said this to you many times before. So on top of everything I just said, I would, for the next many years, Gemini, Uranus will be in your sign for a while until 2033. It will retrograde out and basically it will also in 2032 it will move out into Cancer, and then it's going to retrograde back into Gemini, and so again it officially moves into Cancer in 2033, but it will retrograde out this year as well, before before moving back in. But what I would say here is that these electric ideas are things that really could help you manifest your dream. So again, with the Queen of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords. Basically, the universe saying, I meant what I said. So whenever a card repeats itself, there's really nothing to add there again, because it's basically the universe saying, I meant what I said. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands can be success, of course, or an achievement or an accomplishment. And so a lot of you could really be accomplishing a lot, I feel, with this card. Again, this is the area of the reading that will represent how will this show up for you. And again, I really think there's nothing for you to do. It's almost like, it's kind of funny because it is almost like you've already done the work. Now, again, I don't necessarily think that's 100% true, because I think it's life. We always have stuff to work on, of course. But, it's almost like this is saying that you're being, it is almost like a gift from the universe, I feel. Although, again, you don't really have any of the cards that would say that to me, to you in this reading. But again, I do almost feel that. With the Tower, you have the Page of Swords. So again, I think doing your research and researching any unique perspectives or new ideas is really going to help you manifest. And again, this row fits in very well with Uranus in your sign. Again, I really want you to take advantage of that Uranus in your sign energy. I think people can sometimes worry a lot about Uranus, but really, Uranus is the unpredictable. It is, it can go both ways. I think if you take advantage of this energy, Geminis will be one of the signs that will be the most successful. I'm a Gemini moon, and I'm trying my best to take advantage of this energy, because I think anyone, Gemini moon, sun, moon, rising, will really benefit from Uranus and Gemini if they tap into those unique ideas, those unique perspectives. And again, anything that makes you feel alive, like Frankenstein, with the electricity, anything that wakes you up, right? Those are the things that you want to research and look into and study. Next, we're going to look at what's blocking you at this time. You have this Birds of a Feather card and this Wish Upon a Star card. So the people that you surround yourself with, maybe. But I also intuitively feel this doesn't just have to be people. I feel that this could be anything. It could be music you listen to, movies you watch, and all this other stuff. It's unfortunate. There's a guy, I can't remember his name. He was on Impact Theory. I brought this up recently in a reading. It might have been to you. I don't remember. But unfortunately, I can't remember his name. But he was like a scientist who studied success. And, again, I can't remember his name, but I'll try. And, basically he talked about on this interview how he stopped listening to music that, made him feel bad, stopped watching movies and that made him feel bad and things like that. And he really started kind of like curating his environment, making sure that he surrounded himself with a very positive environment. And because when he did that, he became very successful. So, I kind of feel that for you, Gemini, where the Birds of the Feather card, it's not just talking about people. Of course, that's going to be part of it. And, we can't always cut everyone out of our lives. And I don't think we have to either. I think we just have to, spend less time and, be protective of our energy with those people. I also think you need something to wish for. Now, I don't think this is something that I would be concerned about, this card. I don't think this is bad, because I think it's coming. It's like sometimes I think it's like when we have something that motivates us to be more successful, then we do become more successful. Like, I don't have a good example for you, but it's like if you have a dream car and you just really want it, it's like sometimes having that wish, I think, is a good thing. I kind of feel like what this reading is saying is that you're about to get something to wish for. Like, maybe you don't have something right now, but I do feel there's something coming that's really going to motivate you to be more successful. It's like, it's like a goal or something to achieve, if that makes sense. Next, in the area of what limiting belief or situation is in the way, you have the Justice card. So the Justice card could be fairness. That could be a limiting belief for you. Also, kind of like taking that neutral stance on everything in life could be a little bit of a challenge right now. Again, I'm actually not too worried about this for you, Gemini. Like, maybe it has been a problem up until this point. But, again, I find that Gemini isn't really bad at getting into the Justice position. So Justice is about looking at anything, everything in your life, and you don't look at it as good or bad. You just say, you take that neutral approach and you weigh up the results. You say, this is working, this is not working. And again, that could be a good exercise for you if you are feeling stuck or blocked at this time. Looking at everything in your life and saying, is this good or bad? I can't answer that question for you. Only you can, Gemini, but doing that would be good. You have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands can represent conflict or competition. this is coming up in the area of like, why is this block persisting? And it could be conflict. If you have people that aren't in your life, but you think about, like, I don't know, we all have that one person, I'm sure, from elementary school where we say, man, if I were to run into him or her today, I would, I wouldn't be upset if I saw him trip in front of me, right? And so again, I'm sure we all have that person, right? Or multiple people. And I feel like the Five of Wands, it's like right next to this card, you have the Empress. It kind of reminds me of people who ask, like, why are good things happening to my ex? Like, I'm sure you've seen people ask that question. And I always say, like, why do you care? It's like, you should be making your life so amazing that you don't even think about your ex, right? That is how you get revenge on your ex, is you make your life so freaking amazing that you just don't even think about it, right? Because it shouldn't even matter. And we shouldn't even be trying to get revenge in the first place, because I think revenge is silly, right? It says it basically is you admitting that you still care about that person, which is fine. No criticism here, Gemini, right? But that's kind of the feeling I get on this Five of Wands, is it's almost like saying, and again, this is not a bad thing or good thing. We all have things to work on, Gemini. I don't want you to think I'm like hating on you or something like that. But I think this is just saying that you're maybe taking your power back, or you need to, from other people. Again, that birds of a feather card, right? And all this other stuff. Empress right next to it. She's very independent. She doesn't care what people think. Her results speak for themselves. That's it. And so I think you need to realize that your results in life, they really speak for themselves, and that's what you should focus on. Next, we are going to look at what is your way through or around these blockages. And you have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is about getting to work on something new. So again, if you are experiencing blockages, I think building something new in your life is the answer. You could be building or working on a new project. You could be creating a new business or a new idea, or working on something like that. And I think that would be an amazing thing for you to do with the Knight of Wands. I also, again, just feel like you're kind of making progress. So, like, I'm not worried about this at all. I feel that you are doing things to progress in life, and because of that, you are progressing. There's really nothing to add. With the Justice card, you have the Ace of Swords. Again, like, sometimes I think needing justice. I feel that for some of you. Again, take this how it resonates. I'm not picking on you. I totally understand if someone did you dirty or something, Gemini. But I just get this feeling here of, like, some of you, and again, like I said, I get it. I totally understand. But, I feel like if you are needing justice from a person, that could be a blockage, because it's just like something to focus on that you shouldn't be focusing on. You should be focusing on the story that you want to live, right? You should be focusing on victories and successes and good things that you desire to have in your life. And so again, I feel like this is kind of saying maybe it's time to cut something out and let it go. I really think it would be very helpful for you to do that. The Ace of Swords is a very good card. And again, the Ace of Swords does say we have to cut something out. The sword cuts both ways. So usually with the Ace of Swords, we do have to, and yes, I thought there are two cards here that want to come out, and you do have the Ace of Swords twice. So, Ace of Swords cuts both ways. It says we have to cut one thing out so we can have something better. You have like 3 aces in this reading, by the way, which is amazing. With the Five of Wands, yes, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Results. I literally said your results will speak for themselves. Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work. Eight of Pentacles is putting work in and getting a result, like he is doing here on this card. So I think you just need to either put energy into getting results, or focus only on results. And, that's what I would do with that Eight of Pentacles. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Two of Cups. So Two of Cups would be about communicating with your higher self here. And so communicating with your higher self could help you get better answers, or could help you just get answers in the first place on like what you're working on or what you need to work on in life. And yeah, I think that would be very beneficial for you here, Gemini. So, again, I think communicating with your higher self, meditating, tapping in, all that stuff would be very good for you here with the Knight of Pentacles. Next, we're going to look at where you are being redirected, if you are at this time. And you have this, or where you are being directed if you're not. You have this Taurus card. It says perseverance. It says, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. You have this angels are watching card. It says there's nothing to worry about. Angels are watching over you. Yes. I don't really feel like you are being redirected. I mean, obviously, this is a general reading, so some of you are. But I think you have a path. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords twice. showing up here. And, aces are kind of like having a focus. And especially the Ace of Pentacles can be like a big opportunity that you have in front of you that is a path, right? And so here you go. You have the Ace of Pentacles. There's this path straight down to these mountains. Mountains in the tarot represent challenges, but they also represent an achievement. I always say, where do you get the best views? At the top of the mountain is the answer. And you have the Ace of Swords twice, and the sword is above the mountains. So you will easily climb these mountains that could be part of this opportunity. So this is coming up in the area of what path is closing or becoming unstable. I think this is a path that is open to you now, and it's something that you're trying to achieve. So I feel like your reading is kind of going in a little bit different of a direction than everybody else is, but that's fine. That's usually a good thing. So I kind of feel the Ace of Pentacles is but this is like an opportunity that you have wanted for a while. So I kind of am looking at this more as like a goal, that you have had, Gemini, or something that you have wanted to accomplish or achieve. And, I really don't feel much because I feel like you're putting the work in. Ace of Pentacles, I always say, is like a seed. We have to take that seed, we have to plant it, and then we have to nurture it. There's this garden right here. And so the Ace of Pentacles itself can say that you're getting an opportunity, but you have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, nurture it, grow it, all those other good things. And if you grow this opportunity, it will treat you very well in life. So I would make sure that you are, growing this opportunity that is like a goal that you have. Next, we're going to look at what's the real opportunity that's opening up for you. Total abundance, whatever the hell you want with the Empress, for sure. I think that the other thing I'm getting here is that, it's like sometimes I think in life we just want something to take care of. Like what I mean by that is like we want to do something that we care enough about to take care of, right? Like a business or a career that we actually want to nurture, that we actually do care about. And that's kind of like popping into my head with this Empress card is that, what's coming up for you, or like the opportunity that's being presented for you here, is going to be an opportunity to do something that you actually care about. And I think that the results will speak for themselves, right? She gets good results when she nurtures something into existence. So I feel like you are going to be getting much better results in life because you're going to be doing something that you actually care about, which is great. You have the King of Cups, and this is coming up in the area of why this redirection is in your favor. I think this is a direction, I should say, for you, Gemini, because it's clear to me that you have a direction that you're thinking about moving in life. And the King of Cups is about stepping into the unknown sometimes. He has this boat behind him, and the boat on the King of Cups is very specific. It represents a time where our ancestors would get on boats and they wouldn't know where they were going. So it's like traveling into the unknown or exploring the unknown. The King of Cups also represents having deep emotions, having explored your emotions, all that other stuff. But intuitively, I feel for you that you are about to be like an adventurer. I feel like you're about to, kind of adventure into the unknown in life, and this is going to serve you very well. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Emperor. The Emperor is about like taking control of your life, and I feel like this is an opportunity that you need to take advantage of. Also could be love. This last row is going to be your love row, but you have divine counterparts here. So for those of you that want love, there's clearly a very good love connection coming in for you. With the Empress, you have the Three of Swords, and again, this literally, again, the Empress card represents what's the real opportunity that's opening up for you at this time. So you have an amazing opportunity to heal. The Empress is an amazing card of healing and nurturing. As a matter of fact, the whole point of the Empress is that the better you take care of yourself, the more abundance you attract with the Empress, and the more abundant your life will be. She understands true self-care. Three of Swords would be about healing your heart, and Three of Swords does not have to be a heartbreak. Those swords are in your own heart, and they could just be anything that needs to be healed. We are in an amazing time of healing. We have the South Node in Virgo. We have Chiron and Aries retrograding in Aries right now. And Chiron and Aries is a major pain in the ass. Don't even get me started on that, but we're almost at the end. 2027, Chiron is out of there. I am counting the days until it leaves, literally. Can't wait. But what I would say is the good news of it is that we can heal. The better healed you are, the better your life will be with the Empress. So clearly it's an amazing time for healing. With the King of Cups, you have the Knight of Pentacles here. So again, progress. You have the Knight of Pentacles twice right here. And also with love, by the way, we have the Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Two of Cups. So, this could be a new person that's coming in for you. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the past several readings that I've done for you, Gemini, have had a King of Cups in them, if I'm not mistaken. So you could be attracting a King of Cups person. That doesn't have to be a water sign either. It could just be a person who's very much in touch with their emotions, right? Next, we're going to look at what message does your future self have for you at this time. Again, and remember, if you want to follow along with my list here, just down in the description is a list of questions. Remember that. You have this knowledge card. It says mentor, teacher, truth, and guidance. You have this monster. It says shadow self, hidden fears, and obstacles. So a lot of you could be, I think a lot of you have faced your shadow. I almost feel like you have faced your worst fears over the past many years. Now, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it, Gemini. But I think you have faced a lot of your fears, and now you're kind of like, these things should be making you stronger. Here's the tricky thing, and I just said this, is Chiron and Aries. Chiron is retrograding in Aries, and the tricky thing about this, I believe, is that I think that it can bring up fears that you've had in the past, and it can look similar, but it's not. And so, again, at this time, if you're watching this in August of 2025, then I would say that, if you're having any fearful thoughts about things that have happened to you in the past, that you should be healing those things so that you can release them. And that's what I feel like your future self wants you to do here. Next, we are going to look at what do you need to know to stop repeating from the past. So what do you need to stop repeating from the past? This is coming from your future self. You have the Knight of Wands. I think that this is about being aimless, right? The Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords showing up here twice in this reading. This would be about having an aim, having something to aim at that you accomplish. So, again, as a Gemini moon, I get it. I have 6 billion ideas every single day, and I usually don't even get started on one. So, again, I think having an aim, having a focus is what your future self wants you to do here. And it doesn't even have to be good or correct or right. I don't know. I think the reason this tarot channel has worked out so well for me is because when I do have something to focus on or kind of an aim, I usually just make it happen, right? And that I think that's why this channel works so well for me, is because I didn't think about it. Literally, if you don't know, I was doing nothing with my life for 4.5 years, 5 years, and my mom came in my room and she was like, "Why don't you start a YouTube channel?" And I literally started this channel that day, right? And I think that's why it worked, is because I didn't have time to think about it. And that's what's popping into my head for you here, Gemini. It's like, if you come up with a brilliant idea, get started right away and don't think about it. Maybe it's just me, but that usually works for me. Next, we're going to look at what advice would your future self give to you right now. You have the Knight of Swords, and exactly like I just said, don't think, just start. The Knight of Swords is too hasty, and he can make mistakes because he starts too quickly, but at the same time, I kind of feel like just getting started is what you need. I think that's the thing that will obviously help you the most and lead to the most success. So, don't be afraid of just getting started. Don't be afraid of, working on that project or getting those projects done, or, don't be afraid of not needing, I think it's saying you don't necessarily always need to have a plan. You can just get going, and that's enough. Next, we're going to look at what part of your life will change the most if you follow these rules. I would say all parts of your life. You have the Seven of Cups and the Page of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is kind of everything. He is spoiled for choice. He has a lot of options. The Page of Cups could also say that love will change the most if you become more adventurous with the Knight of Wands, but also if you pick a focus, which I think is true. It's I think we attract who we are. So, if you want to attract a focused person, then you're going to have to be focused yourself. So, there you go. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Yep, time for you to build and leave that legacy. It's this is the potential of what could happen if you, pick a focus and make it happen. And pick that, one thing that you're going to accomplish, is that you will accomplish the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy. It is everything you want and desire. But I think this is what you could be attracting or creating, if you get to work. With the Knight of Swords, you have the King of Swords twice in this reading right here. So King of Swords is a card of knowledge and wisdom. We have the King and Queen of Swords twice here. I'm not the biggest fan of the King and Queen of Swords, as far as divine counterparts are concerned, because they're two people who need to communicate. Obviously, without getting too far into it, Ace of Swords, Page of Pentacles, I would say if you have your eye on a person, there needs to be communication. With the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. Yes, endless opportunity here, endless potential. But potential means nothing. Like I said on the Ace of Pentacles, a reading can say that you have amazing potential. I'm sure there are many people that have amazing potential that are dead, that you don't even know their name because they didn't do anything with that potential. So, I want to encourage you to get your butt moving here, get your ass in gear, as they say here, Gemini, because I think you have a lot of potential if you focus on, accomplishing something hard or difficult, or, it doesn't even have to be hard. Don't make it hard. Make it easy. Next, in the area of who has their eye on you, or is there someone who's thinking about you, basically love, you have the Tower and the Clouds. So the Tower is not like the Tower, this is the Gilded Lenormand, and the Tower in the Lenormand is different than the Tower in the Tarot, but what I would say is I feel like someone does have their eye on you. Obviously, there's a person, the King of Clubs, who is the Clouds, this number 6 card here. But I feel like this person is confused or something about you. Or maybe they're not sure if you're interested. That's kind of what it feels like to me. It's like, like I kind of get that feeling. So if you have your eye on a person, or if you've been talking to a person, this person might, it's like, I'm not saying you have to like come out and say it, but, I would be more clear, or I would flirt or whatever. You have the Ace of Swords, Six of Pentacles, King of Swords, King of Wands, Page of Pentacles. So we're going to look at what their current energy is towards you. You have the Ace of Swords and Six of Pentacles. Pretty good. This would say that you could be attracting a person who is at least willing to invest, right? That's half the battle, especially nowadays. Like, oh my God, finding a person who actually will take a step, who will meet you halfway. How amazing is that, right, Gemini? And so I do think this is good. I do not feel breadcrumbing energy here with the Six of Pentacles. I just feel that this person, I do feel, here's the thing, Gemini, is that I will say, is I feel like you're attracting a successful person with the King of Swords and the King of Wands. So, like, I feel like successful people, it's like sometimes maybe they don't waste time, or I don't know. It's like, I think that if they feel like you're wasting their time, they're just going to completely get rid of it and cut it off. And that's it, right? So, but this could be a good thing, because this could be a person that really has a lot to offer, but I also think they don't waste time, right? But I do think they're willing to communicate and make things happen. Ace of Swords is victory, communication. So, we're off to a good start, at least. You have the King of Swords and the King of Wands. I think you see this person this way or something. You see them as a King of Swords. I think they're actually like a King of Cups, King of Wands type person. So what the hell am I talking about? Well, if you have your eye on a person, you might see this person as very serious, like very driven, very focused. You probably someone who's older than you with the King of Swords, although it doesn't always have to be true. But I think like deep down inside, this person actually is like a very passionate person. I think it's a person who has maybe a lot of passions, a lot of interests in life. They're probably very interesting. So they're definitely maybe not as they appear to you. But not in a bad way. I think obviously you would be attracted to this person and everything, but I think there's kind of like more to the story is what I'm getting with these two cards. Next, we're going to look at what's likely to happen between the two of you, and at the very least, you have communication. So I'm not feeling more than that just yet, right? But it looks good. You have the Emperor and the Empress. Definitely could be a solid opportunity with that Three of Swords. If that's you that needs to heal, I would make sure you're healed. If it's them that needs to heal, again, I think you'll know it. If they call you their ex's name, obviously you might need to say like, hey, I get that that person hurt you, but call me when you're ready, right? I think we need to be better communicators in relationships. If someone calls you their ex's name, they're obviously not over it. I think there's nothing wrong with saying, you need to go and heal. Let me know when you're ready. Don't waste your freaking time. Life is short. Life is sweet. Don't waste it on someone who's talking about their ex, right? And that might be the thing that gets them to pull their head out of their ass as well, is by you saying, hey, you let me know when you're ready, right? When you've let this go. That might be the thing that motivates them to do it in the first place, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So there you go. With the Six of Swords and whatever the other card was, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, you could be attracting a very independent person. I find Geminis are very independent anyway in the first place. So, again, I think two independent people is probably a good thing. Usually two independent people who, want each other but don't need each other is a good thing, is what I'm trying to say. So definitely could be a very solid connection here, Gemini. With the King of Wands and the King of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords. King of Swords like being too hasty. And so, I would say don't rush into anything at this time as well. Again, especially if someone here needs more time. It could be you, it could be them. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. This is coming up in the area of what do they wish they could say to you. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like this person might be ready to make a move right away. Or it's like they want this to move faster or something like that. So there you go. And with the Page of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords. Yeah, so, I'm not crazy about that because obviously Five of Swords could be like a separation or something like that. So, again, is this person going to be the love of your life? Maybe not, but, it is what it is. But still, overall, pretty good reading. Again, this might be the problem. And again, just because a reading says Five of Swords does not mean that this has to be a breakup, right? It could just mean that this person is confused or clarity needs to be brought to the situation. If you communicate and bring clarity to the situation, then you're avoiding the problem. I always say tarot is not set in stone. Tarot astrology is not a prison sentence. You're meant to work with the energy. So, again, as long as both people are healed or whatever, then it'll be fine, right? So there you go. But looks pretty good, Gemini. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.